June 17th, 2026. Journal entry. Of course, all of my neighbors are paid spies. Every group is spying on me and hiring if they can afford. So I get up, I go to the soup kitchen. It's about 2.5 or 3. Maybe it's 3.5. I think it's 3.5 miles away. I'll go to that soup kitchen. Wow. Okay, so this is a little out of order because I don't want to miss anything. So when I get to the soup kitchen, first thing, one of the people in there has got kind of a limp, and they just said right in front of me to someone else, their brother is in jail and they're not happy. So this is how they informed me of their karma for trying to get me. He tried to get me, so now his health's not as good. He has gained some weight. That means he probably was casting fat spells on me, and also now his brother is in prison. I don't want any of this to happen, so sir, you didn't have to attack me, okay? The Lord is just and fair. But anyways, I'm going to start off with all of the crazy drivers on the road. This was, I can only imagine how much they paid to coordinate this. What, trying to get me run over or just ruin my day or make me late? I don't know. But it was an awful lot of work on their part. And I don't know, it's probably military that funded this. Because there's always people spying on me and doing some. But actually, the traffic, the problems on the road were worse today. It was much worse today. So I'm thinking it had to do with the military, where they would have a bigger budget. So, man, this is nuts. So, there's like a main road with all of like the downtown buildings on it, and then I turn down another major road. Right at there, there's a couple of people that are spying. And I know, because they say, hey, and they wave at me. So then this is informing me that they're spies. I know they're spies based on the circumstances. They see me, they say hello like they're friendly. But based on what happens right after, I know that I know they're enemies and I know they're spies. They also have to inform me. That's why they say hello. So then the next light right out. So basically, they inform people, or them saying, hey, someone else hears. And then they tell the cars to go. So they've got these vehicles ready to do dangerous things right around me on the road. And they time it. So their spies, their lookouts, let them know when I'm coming. They have spies all right around my house. So then these spies are ready and alert. And then they let there's nearby cars waiting to cause trouble. And then they let them know. I see how much work. Like, this is a full-time job, what they do. So the next light after these men say, hey, then there's like 3 cars stopped right in front of me. And the first one's turning left, and then there's a big line of cars coming this way. Well, it's not huge, but... And then there's 2 going to turn right after, and I'm going to be on the right hand side of it. Which means that, like, they're stopped, and normally I would just go straight and pass them. But basically it's timed. They time it so that this one car has to wait to turn left, then the next 2 are going to turn right into me and probably run me over. But I just go, and I'm a little bit earlier than they... So they timed this so that I'd have to stop or I'd possibly get hit. But I just kind of go and I look at them and then I go ahead. So that didn't work. Then I'm still on the same road and I bike like 1/4 of a mile or something. And then, good boy. And then this is what I mean about the bigger budget. So then I'm getting around to the mental health facilities on the same road. And, oh, there's more spies. I saw more, and I think they said hello at me. So then there's more spies. And then after this, So there was the main up at the major road before I turned. There was 2 spies, and then at the next light there was the 3 cars turning right in front of me, and then the other cars in the other direction. Then there's more spies, and they say hello, or they make a noise like to greet me, to let me know they're there, because they have to let me know what they're doing. Now they're kind of sneaky the way they inform. They just have to say like hello and let me know they're there. But this means that they are hired to get me. This is the only day I've ever seen this. So then, like, the next block after these lookouts say, hey, so like a block later, then there is a forklift. So there's a forklift crossing the street, and it has a big stack of pallets that looks like a big stack of boxes. And it's very tall and narrow, like it's gonna fall over. I can't make this up. So it's probably like, there's a forklift carrying a stack of pallets like this. So it's like this tall and narrow, and that's like on the extended on the forklift arm is like this, and then it starts to cross the road right in front of me, and then it sees me. So then I don't know if it's going to back up or keep going forward. The entire road is blocked right in front of me, and the pallets look like they're going to fall over because it's like this tall and skinny. And then it's going forward. They see me, and then like there's a little bit of space behind the forklift, but that's in the oncoming traffic. I just go behind. So I've completely circumvented this. They wanted what, me to be stopped or for the pallets to fall on me? I don't know. So I just went behind. And then shortly after this, there's like a little area. So there's like apartments or a hotel or something on the other side of the street, just past this. And then here's the road, and there's a little thing that kind of goes like a C, where you can drive in, pick someone up, and then get back on the main road. There is a full-size fire truck there, stopped. And it acts like it's going to start to go right as I come around, and then they see me. This is timed on purpose, and then they stop. So they were really hoping one of these vehicles would hit me and send me to the hospital at the very least, but no. So the forklift, so this is a 2-lane road. The roads are a little bit wider than normal, so there is room to bike next to a car here. So it's like a bit wider than a 2-lane. There is a forklift right in front of me. The forklift crosses the street, and it's like filling the whole road. And then it's got a stack of pallets like this balancing on the arm right in front of me. So then and it looks like, is it going to back up because it sees me and then it'll squash me? I just go behind it. And then I get right to the other side, and there's a fire truck there, and it starts to go, and it starts to move a little, and it stops. Sees me, the person chickens out, of course, because they were hoping somebody would run me over. But I'm a little bit of a better cyclist than you guys thought, okay? I've been doing this for a while now. This is what I mean about the bigger budget. They had a forklift loaded with pallets. This was all like, it was, I don't know. They must have had to test this to see how many they could stack before it fell over. And then there's a full-size fire truck, like all of these people, and there was at least 4 lookouts and more around my house. Every single corner, like every road around my property, there was a paid lookout. My neighbors are all spying too. And this is a full-time job. And like the one neighbor said, I got to get back to work. This is how they admit. So it's not just the one straight across. Then there's a house next to that. And next to that, they're probably spying too. Because they had body damage on their vehicles yesterday. So when I get to this soup kitchen, now I'm no longer going to the one I went to all the time. I'm going to the one that's farther away, and it's like more hills to get there. It's more difficult of a bike ride to get to this location. So I actually had I had a pair of socks and shoes I brought in a bag to donate. Now, the free clothing area has been shut down for the past week, and I think this is an attack on me. It's two things. A bunch of Haitians came in, and they didn't want the Haitians to come and mess up all the clothing because they don't speak English. So I think they closed it off for that reason. But it's also to get me. So that kind of backfired. But anyways, I'm surprised the clothing area was still closed today. It's been closed for like a week. But I show up and they're doing the prayer as I come in. I sit the bag down and then like I just kind of like join them in the prayer. Then after during the prayer, the volunteer mentions one of their so somebody there is in the hospital. I think this is one of their main volunteers or a guy who mops the floor, the janitor or something. So I don't know that these are paid. They could be volunteers. They're either volunteer or they're paid. If they volunteer, they get the first pick of all the free stuff. And so this is something I want to add to, is I do think the volunteers should be able to get free things. But what I don't think is fair is they get the first pick. So the right thing to do is they can take all the free stuff just like everyone else, but they have to wait until the soup kitchen opens and allows people in. So I think this is fair, and I learned this actually in Japan when they would people would volunteer and sell things, and you weren't allowed to until after, like you couldn't do it before. So the volunteers are allowed to pick free things and get free things, but they can't do it first. They have to do it at the same time as everyone else. I think that's fair. So, but they should be able to get things too. So I think one of their volunteers is in the hospital. So I don't want this to happen. I don't want this to happen. That means they probably tried to kill me though. I mean, come on guys, what do you think? Like you could have just left me alone, okay? So and then the man that came from the other soup kitchen, he's gained some weight. He's kind of walking with a limp a little bit. And his brother's in jail. There's another old man, he's walking with a limp, and another man is walking with a limp. So there's two people walking with a limp, and one man has a slight limp, and he's upset his brother's in jail. And they mention as I walk in, somebody is in the hospital getting surgery, I think. So this means everybody that comes in with a new health condition or they just got a limp, that means that they were trying to attack me. And people at this kitchen have tried to kill me. So, now today the food was turkey or ham. And then, like before, I'm trying to inform people like they don't know. So God has really taught me. These really are like the Philistines and the Canaanites. This is exactly the same as what the prophets dealt with in the past. So, right there on the board it says turkey or ham. There's a person ahead of me, and they're like ham, and they don't like me, and they're disappointed I'm not dead, and they're like ham, and then the person after me is like ham, and they say it like not to get me. It's like they're getting it on purpose to get the spirits. They're getting a power up, like they're doing it intentionally, not against me, but like because they picked a side, and eating the ham is showing their allegiance with the kingdom of darkness. Like, in their tone of their voice, when they got it, I overheard this. So, like, when God showed me this was a curse on them for thinking they don't have to follow God. And then I see these people know what they're doing, and they're doing it willingly. And they're doing it on purpose, and they're doing it because they are against God. So then, there's not very many people at the kitchen today, but every table is evenly filled with people. So I look around. I don't know really where to sit. I see Wolf Witch there. She's kind of incognito. Her hair's done differently, and she's got sunglasses on. I know you're Wolf Witch. I can see you. But anyways, then there's two new people that look like enemies at the far table. So I have a choice. Either I sit across from Wolf Witch, or there's two new enemies that are probably sent to kill me. So I just go ahead and sit across from these two new enemies. And I believe Wolf Witch was using heavy witchcraft to make people ignore me and not like me. This is the same spell they've done many other times, so I recognized it. Today in the soup kitchen, it was kind of quiet, and then I went to sit at the table, and there was two men there, and they were more fit and a little more serious, and I could tell these were enemies. But shortly after I sat down, they left. And actually, one of the people running the kitchen came up and like said hello to one of these men that I have never seen there before, and she said that like, oh, your name is the, or she asked his name, or he said his name, or she said his name, like they already had planned something, so they gotta let me know. So the blonde woman that runs the soup kitchen came over, and she spoke to the man across from me that looked like a new enemy I'd never seen. And then they said the name. So then this was admitting to me they were working together. But then, like a minute or two later, he leaves, and I realize Wolf Witch is using magic. This magic is to make everyone ignore me. So once this kicks in, then the two enemies that were sent to get me leave. And now I'm at this whole table by myself, and everyone is ignoring me. And so then the table next to me with Wolf Witch and all the people that like to talk, they're all like talking, having a good time, and I'm getting completely ignored. But Wolf Witch doesn't understand. There was two new people sent to get me, and because of her spell, they left. So this was used for good. This was used for good. I mean, the food was pretty good. So, okay, so, unexplained. Um, Something real quick. There is a man from another group who seems like he favors me. So I can tell it's a prompting of the Holy Spirit. This is nothing romantic. This is nothing like with attraction. This is a spiritual recognition. So there is somebody who seems like a good person. And he came in. So after I was sitting down eating, he came into the soup kitchen and he was faced the other way and was not trying not to look at me and was turned away. So he didn't want me to see he was there, and he didn't want anyone else to see he was there. So this man normally is not there, but I saw him at the soup kitchen like a week or two ago. I saw him at the soup kitchen like a week or two ago, and I believe he came in to spy on me or to see if I came there. So I don't think he has to go. He's not poor like me. He's probably, I don't know. But this man came to the soup kitchen to follow me. And I think he's actually a good person, though. So everyone else is trying to attack me and kill me. This man actually was just kind of like seeing what's going on. And then he came in the soup kitchen today. And he was facing the other way. He came in after I was already eating. And he didn't talk to anyone else. And he just had his face turned so that, like, I noticed that it was him, but it was not that easy to tell because he was turned the other way, and he was not interacting. So he was sent there to see. Oh, here I am at the soup kitchen. That's why he came. And so, anyways, everyone was ignoring me with the witchcraft. There's no donations set up. All the clothing is shut down. So these are just new attacks. Wolf Witch is using witchcraft, but that's fine. I just ate my food. I went and I got... So then I go back up to the counter and I'm going to get some seconds to take with me. It's like everybody gets a to-go box too. This soup kitchen closes at 1. So they are not open for dinner. They give everybody one meal they give everybody one meal in the building and then one to go if they want it. I normally end up missing it, at least in the beginning, because I didn't know the rules. I didn't know when you go get it or when you wait, and then it's all gone. But anyways, I go get another one. I noticed actually the food today wasn't as good either. So what I'm going to say. The food wasn't as good today. Like, normally I like the fruit, but maybe they just got me some bad fruit. Like, a lot of the fruit was kind of going bad. And, like, the grapes, at least the ones on my tray, were kind of smushed or rotten. So, I put those aside. And then when I was getting my to-go box, and I said, oh, no gravy, and I said, I'm on a bike, so I don't want too much juice in it. And they're like, oh, you want some fruit? Now, a lot of this fruit was it was not very fresh. It was still, well, most of it was still, maybe half of it was still edible, but it still wasn't that great. And they're like, no, thank you. So they knew, and they're like, we can get you I can get a separate container if you want. I'm like, oh, no, just give me a cupcake, because they had cupcakes today. And then the volunteer, this is the man that, This is the man that always comments on my hat, and so he says something rude about my hat. And then the next day, the next day, he told me his karma. He had to. So he said he criticized my hat. And then the next time I came in, I guess that's 2 days later. And I asked, do you wear a hat? Because he asked me, he mentioned my hat last time. I said, do you always wear a hat? And he says, yeah, I like to switch it up. But I wear the hat because of my bald head. And he said it real loud, and then he turned around and walked away. So he was angry at God because he has a bald head. And so, anyways, he had his hat off earlier, and then he put it back on. So this was his karma. He had to tell me. He was mad. He made fun of my hat because he has to wear a hat. I understand this. But anyways, I go up, and then I ask, oh, can I get a vanilla cupcake? Because they tried to make me get more rotten fruit. And we'll get you another container to put the rotten fruit in. Like, I wanted another container every other day. They don't give it to me. They ruin my food. But now that it's rotten fruit, they'll get a new container for that. No. So I asked for the cupcake, and then this guy's like, that's going to cost you. But that's going to cost, he's like, that's going to cost you. And I'm like, you can have it if you want it. And they go ahead and put it in. Yeah, they cursed me for the cupcake. But they're not supposed to, because they're supposed to give everybody a box. I did get cursed, but if I can remember what it was. But at least, like, even when they got the peas, they drained the water, all that, too. So it was nice. But every other time, I would like another box, and they don't give it to me. And if I get a cake to go, it's always ruined. It's always, like, smushed right into gravy or meat juice, and it's ruined. And, like, I had to throw it away. Or they put pork in there with it. It's like, this is what they do. They know that I like the vanilla cake, and I want a to-go box with the cake in it. But they don't. But then when it's rotten fruit, they offer. And then the guy's like, it's... So then I think the spy, the man that as a good man came in. Well, I don't know if he could be hired by someone but that's good. Or he decided he wanted to come in and see what's going on. Because I think this man works at another charity and actually wants to help people. That's just what I think. So, anyways, then he's kind of like, he doesn't want me to see he's there. He's not interacting. He just comes in, see what's going on, eating a meal quietly. And so then, of course, he would probably overhear that this man is not very polite to me. And also, the last time he was in there, he saw this man being rude to me again. So, then he knows, or whoever has sent him knows, that they are rude to me. They're always rude to me. Now, Wolf Witch is using magic to make it worse. I just leave. I start biking. I bike past the thrift store I normally stop at to look at the free stuff. They're closed today. They're always open. But for some reason, they're closed today. So then I just keep going. Then I still have my to-go container. And then I get down by the downtown area. And I see someone in a wheelchair, and I see a woman sitting on a bench, and then I turn back around, and I go to her. I say, you guys eat today? And the man, I don't know if he heard me. The woman was like, she's like, oh, they got a free meal. And then she tells me where a free dinner is and the address. I'm like, oh, I got to write that down. And then after I write down the address and time of this free meal, then she's like, I didn't eat today. And so then I get the food. So I made sure they put the vanilla cupcake in there, which was the best one, and they drained all the juice and didn't put the gravy, so it's not ruined. And then, so this was probably a good to go. And then I give it to her, because now I'm going to have dinner. I don't need this. I just ate, so I don't need it now. I'm going to go get the free dinner. But I was going to give it to her anyways, because, I thought sometimes when I got the to-go, I'll bike by. I see some homeless people hanging around. I'll give them the to-go. Because I didn't eat out of it. They just box it up and then I put it in a bag. So she opened it and she's like, oh, this looks good. And that's good. So I hope she enjoyed it. I think she did. But I already had one, so I didn't need two. But yeah, she told me about a free dinner at a church. And I remember hearing about this, seeing this. I just never went. Because it's like only one day a month. And then now I guess I do have a calendar, but before I just wouldn't keep track of it, so. But then she made sure. So I'm thinking maybe somebody hired her. I'm thinking somebody paid her to make sure. And I could tell she had done drugs. I think somebody paid her to tell me to go to this church for free dinner. So I believe that. But she was happy to get the meal, and I think she enjoyed it. But just because she's paid to tell me about a free meal doesn't mean that she knows what's going to happen there. Doesn't mean that she wants me to be hurt. I'm not saying that. It's just like they don't tell them everything. So if she's hired to tell me something, that doesn't mean they're going to attack me. Like, she doesn't know they're going to attack me. So I get home. I was editing some of my old videos, and then I just look at the screen. It says there's 22 minutes left right there. And then, like, my browser has crashed. So then I go over to my email tab. And, then when it reloads, it says there's 22 new emails. This is within like 10 seconds. Okay, so I'm on the tab or I'm editing a video. So I'm like shortening it or clipping something out or something like that. And it says 22 minutes left. This is not, I just looked at it once and it said 22 minutes left. And then I go to click on my emails, and then it's crashed, it reloads, and it says 22 new emails. And I go out and I check the mail, and I have got something in the mail, which is maybe good news for me, but it's downtown, in the downtown area. So now I know I'm going to head there, and I'm going to head there soon. And I remember I also sold something yesterday, and I didn't get it yet because it was dark and it was raining, and I didn't want to go out and get it. So now I've got like just enough time. I'm going to have to get this item, package this item, go to the post office, go to the government building. I was going to try to stop by my booth and drop something off, and then go to this free dinner. And I have it all planned. And I knew in the evening it was set to rain. The forecast said it was going to rain later. So I figured I'm probably going to get rained on. But it was not raining yet, and I had some errands to run. So I'm at the post office. There's enemies there like there always are. And so I actually pray over the post office while I'm in there. And I think the people in there, they turn a little bit like they notice. And I pray to bring the Holy Spirit in. I think like the light from heaven pouring down into this building. And I think that somebody in front of me and next to me noticed this. I didn't turn. I didn't look at them. It's like I just pray this. And I think they could sense the shift and they could feel the difference. And they noticed it. So it's just the way they... And I was just, from my peripheral vision, I noticed this. So maybe this was a mission. I was in there a long time and it was going slow. One of the employees was just like on the phone, and the other one was in the back doing something. So then I did my normal prayers, and then I prayed. Then I do the same one about burning the altars, canceling the assignments, and returning this to the kingdom of God. And I believe the people around me that were enemies noticed this, and they kind of like they like moved their eyes to me a little bit, or moved to me a little bit, but not too noticeably. But I could tell they noticed a shift. They noticed a difference. I didn't, but they did. So I give them my package. They scan it, and then I head to the government building. I walk in, of course, no one's at the front desk. Then there's another room over here. I go in, and there's a woman coming towards me, and she's a little uncomfortable that I'm back there. And she's like, "Oh, go over here," and then they gotta push. They have to authorize the elevator, so I had to go find an employee to authorize the elevator. So she wasn't behind the desk. And then she comes out, and then on the way, she speaks a rain curse over me. So, this is a woman who's got it together. She's professional, and she works at the government building. She speaks a rain curse over me, and then she's also being nice to me, and then tells me to go up to the second floor. So, but yeah, she did speak the rain curse right over me. And I said, I guess if it rains, it rains. I guess if it rains, it rains, or something like that. And then I go to the window, and I talk to them, and they go get somebody, and it's taken a really long time. Well, actually it takes a minute, because the woman's like, "Oh, that program's not accepting anything. Oh, I just got this in the mail today. It's something new." And she looks at it. Yeah, there's a new program. And so she's gonna go get somebody, and then I go sit down. I'm waiting like 10 minutes, and then she like apologizes and said, "Oh, she's with someone, and she'll come with you next." And so like while I'm waiting, I pray over this government building, the same prayers I pray over this building, and then I see a man leave. So he has a pork shape. I'm not trying to be mean here. When you eat ham, you take on a pig-like shape, and so he comes out and leaves. This is what happens right after I pray over this government building. A man comes and then he leaves. So I don't know what he was doing. He could be like just backing things up or not approving things. I don't know. Slowing the system down, putting them out of order. I don't know. Imagine what they can do in this office. But then this man leaves. And, but other people, like a couple people are up there and they notice I'm there. They see my hat. They know I'm the woman on the bike. But actually the woman behind the counter was very nice, very helpful. And when the one woman did finally come out, then she was really polite and she put my information in. And they still had, when I came in last year, I came in a year ago, and I signed up for stuff, and of course nothing happened. And then when she came out and she's like, "Oh, and we still have all your information when you applied before." Yeah, because last year I applied and then nothing happened. And she actually saw my records and how I had applied for stuff. And then I applied for something else. So nothing had went through. But I did not pray over this building yet. I just did that today. And then this man leaves. This man left. It wasn't the woman I spoke to, and it wasn't the woman at the desk. There was a man back there, and he left when I prayed over this building. So who knows? But she said, there's a wait. There's other houses. It'll be a while. So maybe next month. But then I still have some time. It's like 3:30 now, and the free meal is not until 4:30. So I'm going to swing by my booth. I got something in my bag to put in there. I show up at the place where my booth is, and they are closed early. They're supposed to close at 5. And it says closed at 3 today, and it's 3:30. So, hopefully this is working out for the good. And the woman that runs this place is actually, maybe this is something good, is all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. But then I just left, and it's like, it's sprinkling now. When I left the government building, it was sprinkling. So this woman spoke the rain curse on me, and then when I left, it was sprinkling. So I just head to the church. I didn't have anything else to do, and it's raining a little bit. I head to the church, and there's like some stairs, and there's like a little awning over the stairs. So then I attach my bike there, and there's another man down by the door. He's on the phone talking. He's just talking, so like this is fine. He's there early. I do mention like while he's not, like while there's a moment of silence, like I say, don't let people in early. So now I gotta stand here for like 45 minutes and wait. But that's okay. It was meant to happen. It was meant to happen. It was an exercise of patience. And he's on the phone. I'm not really listening to what he's saying or anything. I'm just kind of looking off. I noticed there's some people in vehicles just sitting there. Occasionally I smell cigarettes. At one point a man comes out and they've like lit something on fire. They've got an ashtray, a bucket that's an ashtray. They've lit something on fire. It smells like very toxic. It's like if you're burning trash and something that shouldn't be burnt is lit on fire. And then a woman comes out. So they're both smoking there so I can smell it. And then they like pour water in, go back and get more water, pour more. So something is caught on fire inside of this bucket they're using as an ashtray. That means they have put something in there because cigarettes will not do that. So they lit something on fire that was not going out with one pitcher of water. I mean a full pitcher. They had to get 2 pitchers and it's still on fire and it just smells real bad. So I know this was an attack, but I'm just standing outside waiting. And I see eventually, like, there's a man that looks like a military man. And then here's a couple, and I know they're military, and I know the military is against me now. So, and then I actually see these 2 people come together and talk for a while. So, like, later, they were talking, so I know. They were both military. They didn't do anything to me, but they're probably sent to possibly do something. I'm just standing there. You can see me. You can see my bike. People drive by. They spy anyways. They know I'm there. So, and then, like, everybody, like, there's less time, so it's going to be 4:30 soon, I don't know, like 15 minutes, so quite a few people are now waiting on the steps with me. And then they're like kind of talking like they're nice. So then I decide to pray and pray over these people, and like just to help them make the right decisions and help them do the right thing. And then when if they do the right thing, to bless them and give them happiness. And then right after I do this, this was the Lord answering me. Um, right after I do this, then a different man, he's on the phone and he's being kind of rude to somebody. So he was being nice right after I prayed this in my mind. Then the man's kind of being rude. He's being kind of snarky with someone on the phone. And then after he says that, like 5 seconds or 10 seconds after this, then he mentions how he had to go and pick up pork rinds. This is the honest to God's truth. These people, they were out talking, they seemed like they were nice, and so I did a prayer over them. If they try to be obedient to God, that they would be blessed. And then all of a sudden, this man, he picks up his phone, he's being rude. And then he's kind of talking to someone else next to him in a rude voice. And then, like 5 seconds later, he's saying how he had to go pick up pork rinds. So now God has informed me. I was not to make this prayer. Maybe I am to make that. Maybe I was supposed to make that prayer to see this. Because now I understand he was directly influenced by these pork spirits and was eating the pork. But then I was also shown earlier that day that people chose the pork and they did it on purpose. They were willingly being disobedient. So they were enemies. Now, not everybody, I'm sure. But this man was, and he actually seemed like a pretty decent guy. But then I found out actually he was rude and he was eating pork. I go in, and then some people are a little standoffish, and some are nice, and maybe they're all enemies, I don't know. But they've got a whole meal, and like I go up, and there's like a coffee station and desserts, and they're like, oh, you go sit down, and we bring it to you. And so I trust the Lord. God won't let anything happen. But it looks nice. They've got like dinner tables set up. And the meal was small, but they got dinner tables set up and everything. And then somebody comes and asks about the drinks. And I said, well, because they had coffee and they had other drinks. So I said, could I have a lemonade and a coffee? And they're like, oh, yeah, sure. And they bring it to me, and the lemonade is so delicious. I would have liked another, but I didn't want to push it. I didn't know if I was allowed, so I didn't ask for another, but it was really good. The food was really good. It was small, but it was really good. And then I noticed a man that looked evil there. I think they're trying to curse. There was a man that looked nice, and I think he was trying to curse me. There's a man that looked evil, and I think he was trying to get me. But actually, there were some people that were nice, so I don't know. And I looked up this church, and they do a lot of charity. They actually do some real charity at this church too. So that was a good thing. So I noticed some people. Maybe I don't know. But my opinion is there were good people there. But there was also a few enemies. Anyways, this one man, he is like creepy. He's like big, and he's pork shaped. And he's kind of like, his teeth are kind of messed up. He looks like, kind of like a killer or something. I don't know. Like he's like, not. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm saying if somebody was of lower intelligence and really evil, okay, and he's like looking at me. He's like around my area looking at me. And another man looks nice, and I believe he was trying to curse me. They were giving me, when they finally brought the dessert, or actually, someone was like, did you get a dessert? No one had offered me a dessert. And then someone finally comes by, like, were you offered a dessert? And I'm like, no. Another man comes, so maybe they knew. This man was the one that was supposed to offer me the dessert. Because I asked for the vanilla, and it's a little cupcake, and he's like, well, and what else do you want? I'm like, I get another one? He says, well, it looks like you were pretty good today, so. I said, it's absolutely free? He said, yes. And so then I mentioned, I want this. There was another one I saw up there, strawberry, so I would like that. Now, there possibly was gelatin in this, which I couldn't tell. It didn't look like it from my seat. But I wasn't allowed to go up and get it, so I was kind of far. I was maybe 20 feet away or so. So I couldn't really see. I could see there was something that looked like a piece of cake with strawberry on it. I didn't think this would have pork in it, but then when I got it, it might have. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. But he's like, oh, I got something just like that. He's like, do you want another one? I said, well, do you have something with strawberry? Because I saw it looked like a piece of regular cake, which should not have gelatin. But this was a weird mousse cake. So maybe it did. And I think, so then they bring me the other one. So they bring me the free dessert, which is supposed to be a curse. So the nice man brings me a free dessert. But I said, is it absolutely free? He said, yes. So then the big guy who's creepy comes over, and he's looking at me and like smiling. But he couldn't curse me because I asked, is it absolutely free? So then there was no curse. And I'm going to say, the food was really delicious. And, like, when I was done, I got up, and then they also had a to-go section. I kind of walked over there. I didn't know if I was allowed to take one home, too. And I see some people from the soup kitchen I stopped going to were there, and I'm wondering if they came to keep an eye on me or if they were going to come anyways. I don't know which one. Maybe they were going to go anyways, but maybe they were going to go and keep an eye. I don't know. I show up at all the events, and now I've seen them at several events. And they go to more than, I did see them at the soup kitchen, but they go to more different locations too. So I don't think that they're poor. Maybe not. I think they actually are doing okay and they're not homeless. But they didn't look at me. They didn't talk to me or anything. But they probably knew I was there because I was facing the other way. They saw my hat, so they were probably keeping an eye on me. Maybe they were making sure I didn't get killed. I don't know. But I didn't get killed. I went to the to-go table. I started to talk. Then another man, so the man that gave me the second dessert, then he comes up to me and he's got a to-go box. And I'm talking to the woman at the to-go thing, and I'm like, oh, I asked her how they get fund, or where. I usually ask the charities where they get this stuff for and how they fund it. So, like, oh, how do you get your donations? How do you pay for the food? I ask them, and there's reasons I do want to know. It's not for any selfish reason. But if, like, somebody is doing some real charity, I like to know where it comes from and, like, what's doing good. And so then the man comes over who was nice and gave me a second dessert. And now he's got a to-go box. And he's like, and I said, oh, is that a piece? It was small, though. And I said, oh, is that a piece of the cake? Because it looked like that size. He's like, oh, no. He opens it, and it's all the dinner again. I'm like, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Now he's got me cursed. So he tried to curse me before, but I said, is it free? He said, yes. Is it absolutely free? Yes. Then the curse didn't stick. The man looked at me all creepy. It didn't stick because I said, is it free? Then he came and he brought the to-go. Now, if the people back there just got it for me like everyone else, it wouldn't have been a curse. But he brought one special for me. So, well, I hope it's not poisoned. Maybe I should try to eat it. Maybe I should try to eat it now. Anyways, then I was like, oh, thank you. So I took it and I left. But then when I went outside, it's pouring down rain. It was sprinkles before, but now it's a lot of rain now. It's not like the huge storm when the witches on Sunday. This was like you could hardly see to drive. This is how much rain. These two witches just spoke a rain curse, and you could hardly drive. Like they could hardly drive and hardly see. Well, this time it's just a regular, but it's a lot of rain coming down. And then, actually, I do see another man. Okay, so I forgot to mention. While I was in there and I'm getting up to leave, I see a man I recognize from the groups. And he says, are you going to this recovery meeting tonight? And I said, oh, no, I'm not going to go. It's rain. I said, when it says it's going to rain, that's my sign from God to stay home. So then he was sent to get this information for me, probably. But he also this is a man that goes everywhere to get the free food. And I was going to tell him that he has eaten food contaminated with fecal matter. But actually, the day I thought about telling him, then he tried to hit on me and he made fun of my hat. So he criticized my hat and he tried to be a counterfeit. This day that I was going to tell him about the food. So this was probably the kingdom of darkness planned for him to do this day, because I was going to tell him about the food. But maybe I was thinking, this is my answer from God. Do I tell him or not? So the day I'm thinking about telling him, then he attacks me. So then I don't tell him. And I'm maybe realizing, is this his karma? Is just to eat this stuff? But anyways, he was sent to get information. He was sent to find out if I was going to the recovery meeting in the evening. And so I told him I was, and they got cookies up there. He's like, oh, thanks. And then I walk out to get my bike. There's tons of rain coming down. He's like, oh. Then he comes out, and he's like, oh, there's a lot of rain. So I'm thinking that the curse they gave me from the extra food was now it was pouring down rain. And I bike home, and I'm getting drenched. And, like, mud is splashing up. I got mud all over my pants. Like, I'm wet. I get home. I got to take everything off and hang it up to dry. And, well, let's see. So I'm thinking maybe the to-go box, just the curse was that a bunch of rain came down, and I had to bike for like 15 minutes to get home, and I got pretty wet. So my jacket, the rain goes right through. So I get home and like I put on a dry outfit and I'm hanging up my wet clothes and I hang it up on my furniture on my deck. And then there's spies right across the street. So as soon as I go out, then they come out of their front door, which means they're right there waiting and they're watching me. So as soon as I come out, then they're watching me. And so it's two men and a woman, or two men and a woman, or then they all come out right as I come out to spy on me. And I'm hanging my clothes on the back of my rocking chairs. But I put on this outfit that was like a short, like a mini dress, like just like a long shirt. Because I'm at home. I would not wear this outside in public without pants. Like, it's long enough. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to... I'm just saying that this is like a long shirt, or it's like a shirt dress. And, like, it looked... like, I actually look kind of hot in this. I'm going to say. And so I go out to hang my... and I'm just hoping to do this real quick and get back in my house. But, oh, they're spying on me. I can't go out on my porch for 5 seconds. As soon as I open the door, these two men and this woman come out. And then I'm wearing this, like, mini skirt dress thing. And I look pretty hot. And then they see it. And I think... and then they immediately get in the car. So I think that they see this and, like... they are kind of weirded out because they were coming out to spy on me, and then I'm looking good, and they're like, oh, and they get in the car and they go. They are uncomfortable. I did not do that for them to see. I just put something on real quick so I could get the wet clothes outside, because I don't want the wet clothes in my house getting stuff ruined. So I wanted to hurry up and put them out on the porch to dry. And so I just put something on real fast, and I changed it later. So then, but I looked pretty good actually, and then they saw this, and then they were uncomfortable and left. So that was pretty cool. So now these spies spying on me, now they're probably telling everybody. I'm just gonna say, oh, that Jen was hot. Yeah, probably. Yeah, because you guys did your fat spells, so it's not all bad. Anyways, no, I don't like every neighbor spying on me, but the ones that haven't got their karma yet, they're about to, and. I don't want that to happen. Like they think I'm doing this. They think I'm using magic. No, the Lord is rendering judgment on the people that are using magic. I don't have a demon. I have God. They think I have a demon. They claim that they think I've got a coven. They think I've got a witch or a warlock or I've got demons because they are getting karma. This is just like Jesus in the Bible, as they thought he had a demon because he was doing magic. Well, because they were doing magic because they had demons. But Jesus was more powerful. They want to know what demon he has. What demon do they worship? No, he had God. And so they are trying to find out, what am I doing? Because everyone that's coming against me is getting karma and bad things are happening. So I'm not doing anything. It's God. It's God. So, wow. And then, like, I just mentioned this, I made a video, like, yesterday or the day before, and I was talking about the neighbor, or not the neighbor, the man that lived in my house before. And he was asking, do I know those people, like, that live a few houses down? No. Do you know these people that live here? No. And I know why. They got some karma. And he thought maybe I did it. And I said, I don't know those people. I said, it was God. And then, in my journal, today, on today's entry... yeah, it's right there. Oh, wait, this wasn't okay. This isn't today's journal. I recorded another video right before this one, and it was like, I think it was May 18th or March, yeah, March 18th or something. Yeah, I recorded another video right before this, and then that was in it. And then I recorded a testimony. It's just like God reveals things to me at the right time. I need to hear it. Like, I learn things in steps and stages, so I can really fully understand it. Like, I learn, like, you know, the way something feels, the way it progresses, how it changes over time, and the ultimate truth. And I learn these in certain order so that I can truly understand it, and so it's relevant to my life. So when God revealed something to me, um, which is because the man that lived at this house before, he knows my neighbors and he sees them getting karma, and so he's probably hanging around outside on his bike waiting for me to leave, hoping he'll find me, and then he sees like, hey, waves me over, and he wants to find what's the source of my power. Like, do you know these people? Are you cursing them? Are you using magic against them? None of this was said, but all of this is inferred. No. And I said, and he was saying how he's getting angry and wanted to take revenge on people doing bad things to him. And I said, no, don't take any revenge yourself. The Lord will do. I said, and maybe you don't. I said, God is rendering judgment right now on the good people. And maybe you don't see it, but I do. I see when people come after me, they get karma. And when God does it, it's perfect. I gave him this information. And then I just made a video on this. And then the last video I made today covered how people thought Jesus had a demon because he was doing magic. And his magic was greater. Well, they're accusing him of having a demon. It's not because they care, because they all have demons. So the people accusing him all had demons. The reason they said that is because they want that demon. That demon, they thought Jesus had a demon. And they're saying that not to slander him, but because that demon would be more powerful, and they want it too, and they want to know which one it is. No, it's God. So anyways, what is going on here? I'm going to see if I'm done. Now, I will say, this church I was specifically told about, there was a homeless woman right there. They had her on the street. I was headed, so I was leaving the soup kitchen. I had a to-go container. I hadn't opened it or anything. And it was bagged up and ready to go. And the way that I go back home, there was a homeless woman on a bench right there where I would have seen her. So I believe she was hired to tell me about this church. But when I showed up at the church, yes, there were some enemies. They cursed me. And who knows what else if they could get away with it. One man, I don't know. He might like to do some murder. I don't know. It seemed a little creepy. But then I did get cursed, and it was just rain. And it was a lot of rain. But anyways, on the outside of this church, there was a picture. There was like a piece of art above the door. And it showed Jesus at the door. It showed Jesus opening the door. So there was So they got the doors, and it says, you're not allowed to go in before 4:30. So everybody's just hanging around outside. But then I could notice, standing there, so I'm on the step area, because it's covered, and you don't get wet. And my bike's locked there. I locked my bike on the rail. So it's like, there's steps, and then you can walk straight. And then there's a railing in the middle. So for people going this way, then there's a rail, and then the people go this way. That way, yeah. It's like a traffic lane. It makes sense when you're there. So you go up the steps and there's a walkway. And on this side you go this way. Then there's a banister. And then the people on the other side go the other direction. And so I'm just hanging out there leaning on the banister. And then there's the doors. Above the doors is an oval piece of artwork on the outside of the building. And it was a picture of Jesus Christ opening the door to go in the church. So I will say, it seemed like there were good people that were receptive, that were polite, that wanted to help in there. And actually, after I ate, I went up and I talked to the woman at the dessert counter, and I said, well, that's real nice, and the food was good, and then, I was just complimenting them on, saying that's nice to do for the community, and the food was good, and she seemed to like that. And I don't know if she's good or bad. My first impression is she was good, but I've been fooled before. God fails me. You know, a lot of times there's somebody that's evil, and I think that they're good. I see the good in them. I see their potential. I see the good in them. So maybe this is the case. But I do believe this was a good woman, and she was happy that I complimented her. and she invited me to go to their church. So that is next on the list after the others I've been invited to first. But so they had a piece of artwork above the door at Jesus Christ opening the door and coming in. So I thought this was a message from God. I thought this was a message from God. That Jesus is welcome in this church, but also Jesus was opening a door. Opening a door. Like a week ago, there was just a skeleton key in a lock, like an actual lock that you would install just on the road. Where I find roadkill and that has meanings, well, there was a lock on the road. And then here at this church is a picture of an artwork of Jesus Christ opening a door. So is that opening a door for me? Opening a door to my home? Preparing a place for me? And now I just got in the mail, today in the mail, something came about home repairs. That was today. And then after that, I went out to go to the building, and I stopped at the church, and there's Jesus Christ opening the door. Well, that's a good sign, at least, I think. Yes, I did get wet. But that's okay, because actually I'm trying to sort through my old stuff and just get rid of most of it. So I was trying some stuff on, and if something's not perfect, I'm getting rid of it. So that's why I've got this funny looking thing on. So when I took off my wet clothes, then that was an opportunity for me to go through and get rid of even more. And I'm ready to get rid of, I'm ready to get rid of stuff. Like for this house to be fixed, I'm going to have to leave or something. I'm going to have to get move. I don't know. I'm going to have to move my stuff. I don't understand, but I already said I'm fine to walk away, Lord. Just that's fine. You got something better for me, then I will walk away. But I trust this house will be fixed. Through channeling, I said it was going to be done. But I don't know what God has in store. It was mentioned possibly turning this property into a museum. Or maybe it could be a music studio, or maybe it could be a meeting place, or maybe it could be a second house. I don't know. But how cool. This is a historic property, though. And it's a famous property, so I wouldn't want to get rid of it. But that doesn't mean I was thinking, I really love this house, and I wanted to live in this house. But I am thinking, if God has something better for me, then maybe it's not the home, but the neighborhood that's an improvement. Because, this last week, just the people right across the street are spying on me. House over are spying on me. House over are spying on me. This way are spying on me. Then the few houses down there are spying on me. And then some of the neighbors pretend to help, but they just break my stuff too. They're complicit. They knew who Paul was. They knew who Paul's cousins were. Or they knew about the scammers. And they didn't say anything to me. And they also tried to get my things dirty. So, if God has something better for me, it's not that this house isn't wonderful. It's that these neighbors are enemies. So maybe I need to be away from them. I don't know. But, I don't want to get rid of this house. So I'm ready. Come on, Lord, let's go. I'm getting rid of stuff now. Getting rid of stuff now. Come on, let's go. I'm sorry. I trust God, but it's yeah, they try to kill me. They just get rained on, but there's good things too. That meal was really delicious. So I guess I'm going to go try to eat. I was going to save my leftovers for tomorrow. I'm going to go try to eat them, and then I'll report back if they're poisoned. But hopefully, hopefully they're not actually poisoned, and it was just a rain curse. That would be good. But I do think they poisoned my food, though. Because, I think they might have put a little something in my drink. But it would be low dose. Because I did feel a little weird. But it wasn't much. So they might have put something in my drink, honestly. But it wasn't very much. They have spiked my food and drink with so much poison, I thought I was dead. So when they now put a normal amount, I can hardly feel it. So, You gotta use a lot more. And if you do that, God's gonna protect me, and my tolerance will be even greater. Like, I remember hearing about assassins and things would take slow doses. They take little doses of poison and build up their tolerance over time so they would become immune. Well, guess what? That's what you guys have done. Is the Lord has allowed you all to poison me, and I've gotten exposed to it a little bit many times to where now I don't think it's effective anymore. Praise the Lord. Everything happens for a reason, and their attacks have all taught me how to avoid the attacks, and all of your poisons, all of the poisons actually have built up a tolerance and an immunity in me, and also the diseases they gave me. I believe they found some illnesses or created something that would specifically affect me, because I've always been able to get better. I've always been able to recover on my own with no medicine, and I did not from this. So I think that they engineered some type of illness that would affect me and my genes, and now my body knows how to get over that, and that possibly prevents something really bad that could have happened in the future. So this is how God is protecting me. I don't feel good now, but it saves my life later. So well, that's about it. Thanks for watching. God bless you.